Welcome to my blog stampwithelane.com. Today we're going to be making a variation of this card, and the things I'll need are the flower patch stamp set, which have coordinating dies. If you buy this as a bundle, it will save you 15%. Also chalk lines, Calypso Coral, Hello Honey and Pool Party ink pad, some in colour sequin assortment, some very vanilla cardstock, and also the block F. Aside from that, you'll need your trimmer, a sheet of Whisper White cardstock, and some scraps of wild wasabi, I think it is, for the leaves. First you need to trim your cardstock at 6 inches, cut from the short side on top all the way down, and you can keep that aside as scrap, and then turn it with the long side at the top and cut it at 5 inches. So you need 2 pieces of that, and in centimetres that will be 15.4 by 12.8. As you can see, to make up a bloom you need to cut quite a few layers. So I've come up with a solution to put lots of stamps onto the big block F in this configuration, and I tested it at first to make sure that the placement of the stamps were far enough apart so that the dies wouldn't clash with each other. Especially if you're making several cards at the same time. So just roughly doing this. Let's bring a piece of scrap in. Now the reason why I'm doing cut these 6x4 was because it's the same size as the block, and basically what we're doing is just stamping, putting the colour on the block all in the same colour, and then transferring the ink onto the cardstock. Now this one was this is the result I got from inking up the block and then taking the block to the paper, and I didn't get a very even coverage. So then I tried it with the block face up, and I did the same thing, inked it up, but then I put the paper to the block and then I rubbed my hand over it, and that was much more satisfactory because the ink is much better coverage, as you can see. Using Hello Honey, and I'll take my cardstock to the block and then just rub my hand over it. Then you need to clean your block. I'm inking it with Calypso Coral. And do the same thing. Then I bring my magnetic platform in. And I pop my cardstock on and lay my dies on. You have to get the right one, so it's a bit fiddly. You have to go see which side fits the best. And sometimes, just another tip, your magnetic platform, it might polarize the metal dies, and if that happens, then you just need to stick it down with washi tape so it doesn't move. So I'll do that off camera, otherwise this will make the video ever so long. Okay, so I've cut my pieces run it through the Big Shot on the magnetic platform. And I'll just show you another little tip. Sometimes the die might jump on the platform, and in that case it cuts skew width. So if you ink up your stamp again, and I've pre-inked it here, if you just pop it, center it over the stamp, pop it back on, you've got another perfectly stamped center. Now we bring back all our floral bits and we can start assembling our flowers. So just a bit of Tombow on the back. There, just to make it look a little bit different. That's one flower. Then a bit of glue there. That's all your flowers assembled. Next you need to cut 4 leaves, and I'm using this die. So make your sandwich as normal. Base cutting plate on top of the magnetic platform, your cardstock followed by the die with the cutting edge face down, top cutting plate, and now it's ready to run through the Big Shot. So you need 4 of those. So there are my 4 leaves. I only actually need 2. You need one big flower and a small flower. So in fact you can make another card with that. But I'm only going to show you one. So here is our card base. It's half of an A4 sheet. And I've already mounted this on the clear block eye. And this is from the Chalk Lines stamp set. So I will ink it up in Calypso Coral. Then I line up my card along the grid lines, and then line this up along the grid lines as well. Then I know I'm stamping straight. This time I'm using Pool Party. Line it up straight with grid paper, and this is the beauty with photopolymer stamps. You can see exactly where you're stamping, and then when you squish, press firmly to transfer the ink, and that's a perfect alignment. Now we're ready to put the flowers onto our card. So just a dollop of Tombow in the centre there, and tuck that in, dollop of glue there, tuck that underneath. I'm trying to keep this as flat as I can because Mr. Postman doesn't like too much foam pads underneath, and it costs you a lot more in postage then. So just a couple of leaves tucked in there. And last of all, stamp another greeting, and I think this time I'll do it in Calypso Coral, and that says beautiful. So again, you can align it. These in colour sequins, so I'll just pick out a couple. So just a dollop of tiny bit. And let's get a glue dot and put it on the end of my pokey tool. Then I can pick these up. So there you have it. I hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial and find that the tips and tricks I've given you are useful. If you haven't got your own demonstrator, I'd love to be yours. You can purchase the products on in my online store, which is here. It will appear at the end of the video. Thanks for watching, and come back soon for more